Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we'd go a bit old school, do one of my classic sit down videos all about university, because I've been getting into more vlogs recently and just kind of like documenting what I've been doing, and I know some of you out there are missing the uni videos, so I thought I'd bring it back and talk about what I've been missing about university, which honestly I didn't think would happen so soon. I graduated in April, so it's been like a good 5 months now, which is kind of crazy, and it's definitely given me enough time to kind of realise some things that I really miss, or just some things that are a little different now. So I thought this would be a fun video to film, not only for other people who have graduated in the midst of a pandemic in 2020, but also those people who are heading off to uni and want to know what to look forward to and things just to bear in mind and make the most of whilst you're there, because as a graduate I know that you'll miss it once it's gone, and uni does go by really quickly. So I thought this would just be a quick fun little video all about some of the best things that I enjoyed and some of the things that I really miss about uni. So my first one is pretty broad, but it is the lifestyle. There's nothing like a student lifestyle. I don't think you can get that anywhere else. I'm sure other people in other kind of like segments of life will say the same, in terms of like if you were one of those people who did a gap year travelling, like I'm sure that lifestyle is so different from anything else and you don't really know it until you're in it. And I feel that way about being a student. Like there's a lot that goes with being a student. There's a lot of like a community feel, there's a lot of like studying, there's a lot of like the stress and like the lows of like, oh my gosh, so many exams, so many essays, but then there's so many highs of like great nights out with your friends and everything, and you just feel it's a really weird mix of like super carefree and like you can do whatever you want because it's just you being a student, just you in uni, like maybe even living away from your parents for the first time, but also a mix of like you're there to get what you want and make an effort and set your life up basically. So it's just like a really weird mix of activities and emotions and feelings, and just that lifestyle that builds or that surrounds that you can't really get anywhere else. So I'm definitely missing that lifestyle of just like being a student, having so much fun, and also like being so like accountable and having to be so responsible for all of these like huge tasks. I'm so happy that I graduated. University was very difficult, but I do really miss the lifestyle. The next one is a bit of a silly one, but I am missing my student discount. I rinsed my student discount for everything that it was worth. Anything that I could get on student discount, whether that was like travel, food, drinks, clothes, entertainment, whatever it was, I was using my student discount. Safe to say that can no longer happen, so I'm having to pay full price for things, which like full price Amazon Prime, no thank you. Full price like Topshop clothing, no thank you. There's so many things that I had student discount for, which you become so used to, like you don't even think twice about it, and it's just so great because you actually end up saving so much money, like especially over the 4 years that I was a student. God knows how much money I saved. But now I'm having to face the realisation that I'm no longer classed as a student. I've got to start like acting like an adult, and with that I need to start paying for things like an adult, which is something I definitely miss about being a student. The next one is super cheesy, but it's obviously the people. I feel like the people you have with you at uni, whether that's in your accommodation or on your course or just on the campus in general, really make your experience. And after graduation, not everyone's going to stay in touch, not everyone's going to stay in the same city, people move away, people move back home, and all of those kind of things. Everyone kind of gets in their own like pace of life almost, like everyone branches off and does their own thing. So it can be really difficult to keep in touch and meet up with people, especially in a lockdown. But if that wasn't the case, I'm sure it would still be equally as difficult to try and arrange meetups or see people and everything like that. So I do really miss the people. I miss seeing my friends every day. I think like it's been a while, you know, I went straight from school to A-levels to uni, like I've been around friends every day for a very long time, so not to have that anymore. And obviously I'm not like working in an office or anything like that, so I'm not having that kind of social interaction. So I do really miss being surrounded by people that I really get on with and enjoy and have fun with every day. That's definitely something I miss. I'm sure it will pick back up once lockdown and everything has lifted, and I am staying in touch with a few people, but it's definitely not the same as it was being in uni. The next thing is going to sound super strange, and I think is something that's very relevant to 2020 lockdown. I don't think this would be something that I would have missed otherwise, but it is routine. Now I think this is simply because I was unemployed for 5 months, so I basically had nothing to do with my day. I didn't have to get up for anything, I didn't have any appointments or schedules or calls or anything. It was just like a bit of a free-for-all for 5 months, which don't get me wrong, did feel a bit like a summer holiday, which I really appreciated, but also I am a person of habit. I am like a creature of habit. I like having a routine, so not having like a timetable or that schedule was something that I really came to miss. Obviously now I have got a job as a nanny, which I'm really excited about, and has meant I do have some more structure to my day and routine to my week, which I'm honestly loving. I freaking love a schedule. Just my personality, I guess, but it's something that I really missed about uni, especially during the start when I first graduated. I was kind of like, what do I do with all my time now? Because I'd spent so long like writing my dissertation and everything, that was kind of the routine of my day, was like get up, write an essay, go to sleep, get up, write an essay, go to sleep. So it was very, very different, and something that I did miss, but I think again that's just personal. I'm not sure if everyone would have missed that, and I'm sure some people would prefer like a 9 to 5 routine rather than like their crazy uni routine that they have going on. But just something to bear in mind. So my next one I've already kind of touched on, but it's living so close to your friends. Now in this sense I'm talking about year one accommodation, when you're all living in student housing and you're literally like doors down or like streets away from your mates. I freaking miss that. All my friends right now I think are a minimum of like 30 miles away maybe, which is very far, especially during this time. Like we can't meet up in a park somewhere because we both have to travel so far to get that. I actually just went to dinner with some of my uni friends last night, which was really nice, but we both had to travel like 15 miles to like meet each other in the middle. So it is definitely more of an effort than just like wandering down the hallway or going into the courtyard and bumping into some of your mates. And there is something just so lovely about living so close to all your friends. It just means that you never feel like alone. You can have fun at like the drop of a hat. You can go knock on someone's door and have just like the best spontaneous night out, and that's kind of a bit harder to orchestrate when you live so far away. There has to be a plan to it and everything kind of has to be scheduled and stuff, but it's definitely something I miss. So I will just say, like, if you are living in student housing or you are living really close to your friends, definitely make the most of it whilst you can, because you'll definitely miss it once they're gone. I guess hand in hand with that goes with being on the same schedule as all your friends. I didn't really realise how like fortunate I was that me and my friends were on pretty much exactly the same timetable, because when real life happens, when people graduate, people are doing different jobs, have different times that they're working, live in different places, and just have like so much other like family, friends, boyfriend things going on, that it's so hard to like hang out because there's so much else going on. Whereas when you're at uni, you're pretty much all on the same timetable, and if you're not, you're all like all in the similar space in terms of like the uni lectures and the halls and stuff. So it's just mad to think about, and just something that I really miss about uni is being so easy to meet up and like get connected and hang out whenever you want, because you're on the same time schedule. You know when that person's free, you know when you're free, and it just like matches up perfectly, which in real life doesn't happen very often unless you're super lucky. So that's something I've definitely missed about uni, definitely something that's been a bit of a transition to get used to, and it just means that it takes a little bit more effort to meet up with everyone now. I think this next one, it may be a little bit controversial, and again is something that I don't think I would have missed had I not graduated in lockdown. But I miss my student loan. Now don't get me wrong, my student loan wasn't huge. I think it was about 5 or 6 grand for the year, so like nothing major at all. I think the max you can get is like 11 grand, maybe a bit higher. So I was kind of like on the lower end of the scale, but it's so nice to know that you have an influx of cash coming in like 3 months' time, because obviously during lockdown and everything it was very uncertain time. No one knew if their money was coming in, no one knew if they were going to have job security, whether they were going to get made redundant and everything like that. So I think it would have just been a really good peace of mind to know that, oh, it's fine, because in 3 months a grand's going to hit my bank account. You know, that doesn't really happen in real life unless you have a full paid job each month, in which case I feel like if I had graduated in normal circumstances and just got my graduate job, I wouldn't have had to miss my student loan because I would have had money coming in each month. But I was unemployed for 5 months, so I definitely missed my student loan. I made my last instalment of my student loan last very well. I was literally scraping the pennies by the end of it. That's a whole nother story, but I really missed my student loan. So it's just something to bear in mind. Like, I know student loans can sometimes seem like not very substantial and not a lot, which it definitely did in my situation. Like, it didn't even cover my rent, so I was like, what even is my student loan? Like, it's barely helping me out. But honestly, not having it, kind of realised how much that really helped me out. So make the most of it whilst it's there, use it responsibly, use it wisely, appreciate it, and just yeah, just something to bear in mind if you're a graduate of 2020. I'm sure you can agree that you're missing your student loan as well. The next one is super selfish, but it is the university holidays. Now I think again this may depend on the university, but for me I had like a month off for Christmas, a month off for Easter, and then like 6 months, like 7, maybe 5 or 6 months off for summer, which is a ridiculous amount of time and is something you will not get anywhere other than university or like a school environment. Like there's no job that's going to give me 8 months of the year off, do you know what I mean? So it's just something that's going to be, again, a little bit of transition, something to get used to, and is something that you definitely should not take for granted if you're at university, because that time is so much fun. You can do so much in that time. You can go travelling, you can visit your friends and family like wherever they live, which is always great fun to like either go home or like go to see your other friends in a different university, because I always love that, like seeing what their university looks like, where they're living and stuff, and just getting like a little peek into their world was always so much fun. So it's always a great chance to do that, because you'll never really get that amount of like chunk of time off again. So it's something that doesn't last very long. It goes very quick with university, and it's something I doubt I will have again unless I become like some super rich person and I can just take 5 months off whenever I want. But it's something I definitely miss about university. My last one I think I touched on at the very beginning of this video, but is the community feel. There's just something about university where whether you know the people or not, whether you know the lecturers or not, just because you're a part of that university, you're a part of that hub, you really do feel like a draw, like do you know what the right word is, but you just get that community feel, like that kind of pull into that environment to know that you're a part of it, you're one of us. Like you really have that sense of camaraderie, I guess, especially if you're like proud of the university you go to, or you're like quite like engaged in extracurricular activities or with the university itself. You definitely feel like part of that community, and that is something that I personally miss having graduated. Again, it may just be because I'm not part of a larger corporation right now. I'm not in a business or anything, working alongside a business, which in that sense you may just have like moved your community feel to another community, which is completely fair enough. But unfortunately my graduating circumstances meant that that wasn't the case for me. I was kind of left in the dark by myself for 5 months, so I really did miss that community feel, and I do think it's really important to make the most of that whilst you're at university, because it's a great way to make you feel like you're not alone and that you're part of something bigger than just you, which is always a nice feeling, especially when you're moving away from home for the first time, or you're far from all your old friends and things like that. It can just really make you feel more at home, like a part of something, which everyone always loves. So I do miss the community feel. I'm really excited for future jobs and things where I am part of a larger organisation to be able to feel that again and just be part of something else and just contribute to something bigger than just me. But for now I'm definitely missing it. Definitely a good part of university to bear in mind if you are starting university or you've been there for a year or two. Definitely get more engaged with the community if you can, because it's definitely worth it. But yeah, they are just some of the things that I really miss about university. I think being in lockdown gave me a lot of time to kind of reflect on my time at university, so hopefully you have enjoyed this video and you can either relate to some of them or completely agree, or just think that maybe some of these things you might bear in mind when you head back to university starting September. So let me know what you think of this video and whether you would like me to do like the reverse. I think it might be quite fun to do things that I don't miss about university, because there are some of those as well, so let me know if that would be something that would interest you. I hope you have really enjoyed this video, and if you have, please hit the thumbs up. I'm posting a video every Sunday, so once a week, so if you do want to stick around and see more videos, make sure you hit subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you soon.